Guys, I'm here to get into my top 10 favorite scenes of the film Daily Blood, which is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, released in the year 2007. And instantly, I'm mesmerized by this 15-minute long opening sequence, which just displays just kind of like the mystique value of the whole story. And it feels like the most likable moments of Daniel Day-Lewis's character. There's not really any dialogue. You just kind of see a really ambitious man just kind of just really into his work, really, just building up his entire, just all these characters he meets along the way. And it's just a really mesmerizing display, just a really haunting kind of soundtrack. It's just one of the best opening scenes of a film I've ever seen. There's just about 40ish minutes, and there's this 5 minute montage sequence of the town, which builds up to the display of the oil going off. And I think it's a perfect just moment where just like the film is just really breathing in this atmosphere. Because it's just kind of taking in where the characters are at, just kind of getting into this town, kind of building up to Daniel Day-Lewis just sort of on his rise, you could say, in this whole project. I just love how it's all depicted. And of course, when this oil rig explodes, then it's just another story. That's another all-time favorite scene. Just now we have the incredibly haunting soundtrack by Johnny Greenwood. I mean, it's really just mesmerizing how all this is displayed. It's like, this is kind of is where the downfall really kind of starts. Really, it all kind of feels like it goes down a downward spiral from this moment. So there's a scene later on where Paul Dano ends up meeting with him, and he's just walking in front of him. The way it's shot is just gorgeous, but it's a real ugly confrontation he has with Daniel Day-Lewis. He basically beats him down, and then in the part where Daniel Day-Lewis gets into this argument with Tillman, this other character, it's just really uncomfortable. You feel like he's just increasingly brewing into just a psychotic sort of character. There's another montage sequence which just plays like Daniel Day-Lewis just kind of like going through numerous transactions, just doing numerous things. I mean, just the way the soundtrack's displayed, the way it's all displayed is just absolutely gorgeous and haunting. And then it's followed up by Daniel Day-Lewis swimming with this sort of like devilish look in his face as he's getting suspicion towards his half brother. And they go to this brothel with a lot of laughing. That reminds me a lot of The Shining. I mean, a lot. Sort of the bathroom scene in room 237. Then there's a part where Daniel Day-Lewis kind of ends up killing a person for falsely claiming to be his half brother, which leads to a complete meltdown. And Daniel Lewis ends up being trapped into being baptized at a church by Paul Dano, and this is where it really gets messy. It's just really intense, just really uncomfortable kind of moment. And my favorite part of all is whenever Daniel Lewis whispers something to Paul Dano's ear, you can't even hear it in the camera, but it looks like it scares the living daylights out of Dano, as if he's warning him that he's going to do some horrible things to him. Then get this montage sequence of this melancholia, kind of building up to the final moments in 1927. It's like the last moments in 1911 are just particularly sad as you kind of just see Day-Lewis just kind of rotting away in contrast, like just extremely melancholic energy. And there's the finale, which is just one of the most disturbing, just most intense moments of filmmaking I've ever seen. And I noticed in my latest viewing is that I paired this up with the moments of The Shining, and I realized how similar the atmosphere is. Like, I used to always point to a clock, of course, but I realized, it actually feels like The Shining. Well, it like literally kind of feels like they're in the Overlook Hotel, like in a really haunted, possessed kind of room, just going like manic spiritual warfare and unleashing mesmerizing stuff from start to finish.